The voice under the bed. Her name was Anaya, 26 years old, living alone for the very first time. She had moved into a small apartment on the sixth floor, a quiet building in a quiet neighborhood. The kind of place where the halls always smell like old wood and the walls kept secrets. For the first few nights, everything felt normal, peaceful even. She enjoyed the silence, the freedom, the feeling of being finally alone. But the silence didn't last long. It began on the fourth night, at exactly 3:17 a.m. Anaya was in her bed, half asleep, drifting between dreams, when she heard it. A voice, a soft, broken whisper coming from under her bed. Anaya. Her eyes snapped open, her breath caught. For a moment, she was convinced she was dreaming. But then it came again, clearer, lower, dragging each syllable with a cold, heavy breath. Anaya. She didn't move. She couldn't move. Her heart was pounding so loud, she wondered if whoever or whatever was under her bed could hear it. She forced herself to slowly sit up. She peeked over the edge of the mattress and saw nothing, just darkness, stillness, silence. The next morning, she laughed it off. Stress, exhaustion, overactive imagination, common explanations. But the following night, it happened again. Same time, same voice. Anaya, come here. Her body turned to ice. She reached for her phone with trembling hands, shining the flashlight under the bed. Nothing. Just dust. And darkness so deep, it almost seemed to swallow the beam of light. She didn't sleep that night. Night 5. She thought about calling her mother, her best friend, even her neighbor. But what was she supposed to say? Hey, I think there's a voice under my bed? No one would believe her. Not even she believed herself. Until the fifth night. She was lying on her side, wrapped in her blanket, pretending to be asleep, when she felt the mattress sink. Someone pressed upward from beneath her, directly under her spine. Just a small push, just enough to make her gasp. She rolled off the bed instantly, falling to the cold floor. Her head throbbed, her breath shook. And then she heard it again. But this time, it wasn't a whisper. It was breathing. Slow, heavy, human breathing. Coming from the dark space under her bed. In, out. In, out. She backed against the wall, shaking uncontrollably. Her mind screamed at her to run, to get out, to leave everything behind and flee. But something held her in place. Something cold. Something she couldn't explain. The breathing stopped. Then a single word. Stay. Day 6. Anaya barely made it through the day. She tried to convince herself it was all in her head. Yet every time she closed her eyes, she felt that presence beneath her, watching, waiting, breathing. She avoided going into her room, slept on the couch, kept the lights on, did everything she could to keep herself awake. But sleep, eventually, won. Night 6. This time, it didn't whisper. It didn't breathe. It spoke. A full sentence. A chilling one. I've been here for so long. Anaya jolted awake, her heart hammering violently. She didn't look under the bed this time. She grabbed her phone and turned on the camera. With shaking hands, she lowered the camera toward the gap under the bed, watching the live feed instead of looking with her own eyes. At first, nothing. Just the bottom of the mattress. Dust, shadows. Then, something moved. A dark shape, like a hand, crawling into view, finger by finger. The camera froze, glitched. Static filled the screen. Then a distorted voice said, "Don't look." Her phone shut off. She dropped it and stumbled backward, nearly tripping over her own feet. Her breath came in sharp, panicked bursts. She ran. Out of the room, out of the apartment. Down the stairs, barefoot, crying. She didn't stop until she was outside, trembling beneath the streetlight.
The landlord.
The next morning, she confronted her landlord, a tired old man with thinning hair and a cane.
"There's someone in my apartment,"
she whispered, voice trembling.
"Under my bed."
His face changed, just slightly, a flicker of something like recognition or regret. He didn't ask questions, didn't laugh, didn't doubt her. Instead, he sighed and said something she wasn't prepared for. "You're not the first one to say that." Anaya felt her stomach drop. He told her that decades ago, a tenant in that same unit disappeared. A woman, young, living alone. No body was ever found. No signs of forced entry, only scratch marks under the bed frame. The landlord avoided renting the apartment for years, until he finally gave in. "I always hoped it was just a story," he muttered. "But you, hearing things, feeling things, it means it's back." Night 7. The final night. Anaya returned home only to pack her things. She was ready to leave. Forever. But the moment she opened her bedroom door, she knew something was wrong. The air felt heavy, thick, cold. And her bed? Her bed was pulled away from the wall, centered in the room, as if someone or something wanted full access beneath it. She stepped back. Her body screamed for her to run. But before she could take another step, the door slammed shut behind her. The lights went out, and in the suffocating darkness, she heard it. The voice. But not a whisper now, not a murmur, not a distant breath. It was right beside her ear. "I'm coming out now." The bed shook violently, wood cracking, fabric ripping, something forcing its way upward. Anaya screamed, but the scream was cut short because something grabbed her ankle. Cold, thin, and pulled. She clawed at the floor, but her nails only scraped wood. Pulled harder, dragged across the room. Pulled under the bed into the darkness where the voice lived. Her scream echoed once, twice, then vanished. The room fell silent. The bed stopped moving. And after a long moment, a faint whisper escaped from underneath. A new whisper. A new voice. A woman's voice. "Help me."